Hello, my Ramos Retrievers. This video is for any of my violinists who are going to be playing the Marines hymn at our Veterans Day Assembly on November 12th. So if you are one of those second or third year players and you've been working on this Marines hymn and you want to play along and practice with me, this is the video for you. So before we start, we're going to look at the different parts of the music and then we'll play it and then we're going to put it all together. Okay, let's go. Okay, so here's our music for the Marines hymn. The first part we're going to work on is what I'm going to call the main theme. And the main theme shows up really 3 times in this music. It starts here and it goes all the way to here. And then it's going to restart. So the second time, the theme starts here and it continues into the second line and it ends right there. And then the main theme comes back at the end, starting here all the way to the very end. So really, if you learn that main theme, you know most of this song. It's the exact same thing 3 times. 1, then it repeats 2. We have some different stuff in the middle, and then it comes back for time number 3 at the end. So as we're playing this, don't forget about these 8th notes, these TT, this D, F sharp. Da, 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 right? T, T, ta, 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 ta. This is your tie. We've talked about this in the lesson. When you're thinking about a tie, like a plus sign. So this is your half note for 2 beats, and this is your quarter note for 1 beat. And so when we add them together, we're just playing one long note that's going to last 3 beats. So tie on a D here, tie on a D here, and tie on a D here. Okay, so let's try this main theme. Okay, great. Are you ready with your violin? We're going to go through that main theme 1 time, and we're going to do it kind of slow, okay? So if you're still having a little bit of trouble with how it's going to go, I want you to use this part of the video to practice with, because we're just going to do it 1 time, and we're going to do it nice and slow, and you can repeat it as many times as you want until you feel comfortable. Great. All right. So 1 time, nice and slow. We have 5 open A's. Looking at our music, we have 5 open A's before we get to that high D on the A string with 3 fingers. So I'm going to count those 5 A's out loud. And then when we get to the D, that's the tie with the curved line underneath, you're going to hear me count 1, 2, 3. And you got to pull a bow the entire time on that 3-beat tie. Okay? Great. We start with TT, so make sure you're ready with this D, F sharp, A. T, T, ta. Get those 2 fingers moving, make them nice and quick, okay? And to count us off, I'm going to say 1, 2, ready, and play. T, T, ta. Okay, so kind of slow like that. All right, here we go. Looking at our music, we're just doing the main theme 1 time. Slowly. 1, 2, ready, and play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it out. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's your slow version of the theme. If you need to go back and practice that a bunch of times, go back and do that, because we all know that that's the way you practice. Find the part that you don't know, and you have to do that a bunch of times until it starts to feel more comfortable, and you're like, yes, I can do that. Once you've got that theme down, we're now going to do the theme 2 times in a row with no stopping, because that's how it is in the music right at the beginning. We're going to go a tiny bit faster, but all the other stuff is the same. It's the exact same thing twice in a row. So I will count your 5 A's, and I will count our tied D's. The only difference is when you get to that first D, where you have to hold it for 3 beats, 1, 2, 3, T, T, ta, it goes right back into the T, T, ta that we started with the D, F sharp, A. Okay, so let's try it 2 times in a row. If you think you're ready to do it 2 times in a row, here we go. You're going to play right with me. Again, I'm going to give us 1, 2, ready, and play, and that's when we start. All right. 1, 2, ready, and play. 2, 3, 4, 5. One, two, three. T, T, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, two, three. Great. So if that part went well and you could do that and you play those two back to back, I'm not worried about you playing it a third time at the end. So we're going to look back at our music now and talk about what's happening in this middle section, because now the middle section has some different things going on in it. All right, let's get into this middle section of the Marines hymn. So that's starting right here. I'm going to use yellow so we have a different color, and then all the way to here. You can see this section ends with another tie again. It's a half note, so 2 beats, plus a quarter note for a total of 3 beats, except instead of being on a D, this is an A. This is a lot of A string stuff here. D, C sharp, so we got 3 to 2. B, G, B, G, A, B, A. D, C sharp, B, G, B, D, A. So a lot of wiggling back and forth. One of the most challenging parts I found is this B to G to B. Okay, I'm going to show you how I do that. There's a couple different ways you can do it, but I'm kind of using a shortcut that you are welcome to use if you want. If you want to do it your way, you could do it your way too. Okay, but this is the part we are going to start on right here on this D to C sharp 8th notes. A lot of the rhythm, it's all the same, TTs and TAs, okay? So the rhythm's not really hard. We just have to learn the pattern of how that sounds. Okay, so let's work on that part. Okay, ready to do this middle part? If it's a lot with the bow, I'm a big fan of always pizzicato first. So if it makes it easier to just go through. Feel free to pizzicato at first. Sometimes when there's a challenging thing that I'm working on for a string instrument, I like to pluck first because I don't have to think about my bow hand at all. I could just pluck and just worry about my left hand. Okay, so let's talk about that part that I pointed out, the B, G, B, G. Here's how I'm doing that. B is 1 finger on our A string, right? And G is 3 fingers on our D string. So I'm doing this because I know I have to come back to the B. I leave my first finger on the B spot here on this first tape on my A string, and I come over with 2 and 3 on the D string. So these 2 fingers are on the D string, but this one's still back here on the A string. And so that allows me to go B, G, B, right? Without really having to move my fingers back and forth, okay? B, G, B, G, because that's what you need. So if you can do that formation with your fingers, with the first finger on your B, and then 2 and 3 are down here helping with your G, all you got to do is move your bow back and forth, which sometimes isn't the easiest thing either, but you can definitely do it. So that's what I'm doing when I go to that B, G, instead of doing B, G, B, G, like that's a lot. If you can get this instead, the trick is you need to make sure that these fingers are not hitting your A string at all, right? Make that tunnel, I think we've talked about in lessons. You have to make a perfect tunnel, because if any part of your skin is hitting that A string, it's not going to sound right, and you're going to have a problem. So we'll take a little bit of practice if you're going to do it the same way I'm doing it. All right, so let's start with that D, C sharp, B, G, B, G, A, B, A. We're going to do it nice and slow. I will say the letters, and then we'll do it a second time. We'll move it a tiny bit faster. All right, here we go, starting from those D, C sharp. So I got 3 fingers on my A string, right? Again, I'll give us 1, 2, ready, and play. 1, 2, ready, and play. D, C sharp, B, G, B, G, A, B, A. D, C sharp, B, G, B, D, A, 2, 3. tune it. Okay, how did that go? If that went really well, we're going to do it again, and we're just going to take it a tiny bit faster. Ready? All right, here we go. 3 fingers. If it didn't go really well, go back and do it the slow version a bunch of times. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and play. One, 2, 3. And that's how that middle section goes. If you've got that main theme and you can play that middle section, the last part of the video is we're going to put this whole thing together. Ready? Okay, let's do it. Okay, my violin players, we're going to go straight through the whole thing. So remember, the goal is to be able to perform this on November 12th. So you definitely have bunch of time to practice it. Use this video to help you. We've got a couple lessons and we'll have a rehearsal before we're ready. I have a backup plan to make it shorter if we have to, but if we don't have to, that would be great. All right, here we go. Let's play through the whole thing. I'll give us 1, 2, ready, and play. 1, 2, ready, and play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And that's it. That's the whole thing. It's actually kind of short, but there is some stuff to challenge you in there. My second and third year players, a lot more A string stuff and a lot more finger flexibility moving around through your notes. So I want you to really concentrate on this, put some practice into it, because it's going to be such a great feeling when you get to play this for our veterans and our soldiers who are coming over from the Armory for our Veterans Day assembly. If you have any questions, come find me at school, and we'll be working on this in our next couple lessons. Great, keep practicing.